Ohio. I used to want to live in Ohio. Jonathan, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling.
Hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Awesome, man. How are you?
All is well, sir. How are you?
Yeah, dude, I'm doing great.
Good, man. Have Nick
I've been
get the
watching
phone?
your show the past 2 days. What's that?
No, I was talking to Nick. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I've been watching your show for the past 2 days. My buddy in Arizona introduced the show to me,
Uh-huh.
and was watching it this morning, and I'm like, I actually want to call in. So,
Right on. Thank you.
like, my mom, I'm struggling with my parents, basically, and my mom. I'm living at home. I'm 25, and I lived on my own for about 5 years, and I'm back in Ohio.
Yes.
And I lived in Arizona, and I want to go back, and I'm starting to, wake up a little bit, and it's just, I struggle so hard with my parents because they're controlling,
Yeah.
and
So let me get it right. So you lived in Arizona for a while?
yeah, just 8 months.
And then,
Lived with my grandmother.
so you lived in, before that, you were living with your parents in Ohio?
Yeah,
And
and
so,
I moved out when I was 19.
right. And did you move to your grandmother's place?
Yeah, I was like 22 when I
Okay.
did that.
Why did you move back to Ohio with your parents?
Well, after Arizona, I went to California because my close friend was there, and I wanted to skateboard because I love skateboarding, and I do that when I can. And I got into trouble out there, so I had to move back. My grandma wouldn't want to take me back just because I've been to 3 hospitals. I was thinking about killing myself. I never tried, so I got scared. Went to hospitals on medication still. And then I'm experimenting with weed now, and I haven't smoked it before. And I say experimenting like to try to be like presence and stuff, like be in my body and observe my thoughts and emotions and like the ego and stuff.
Right.
And essentially, like, what I want to do is go back. So I'm not working right now, and I'm collecting unemployment and waiting for the stimulus check. But I really want to get myself right before I make the move,
Yeah.
and to become myself. And I feel positive about it. Like my mind, my body, like my gut and my heart feel good when I think of Arizona. It's just, I tell my parents that, and they don't listen. And I just really want to go back. And I tell them, like, I'm making a plan, saving money. My mom wants me to stay here and live at home. And I tell her, like, that's not what I want to do. And she just won't listen. Like, it turns into an argument, and I have to walk away. And, like, my dad's, like, real aggressive, too. Like, I try to talk to him about it. And sometimes they tell me I'm stupid if I make the move. And, like, my mom said, like, I'm a fuck up sometimes. And it doesn't make me feel good.
Your mother call
I'm
you
just
that?
struggling, dude. Yeah,
Your mother call you a F up?
yeah,
And your father call you stupid?
yeah.
So
It just hurts me, man.
does your father want you to stay there too?
Yeah.
Amazing. And
But
so
this is what I want to do.
what's your question for me?
How do I forgive?
Oh, okay. Let me ask this. What made you think that, why do you think that you can smoke, if you smoke pot or any kind of drugs, that you're going to be able to know yourself, you're going to have a clear mind, you can watch yourself? What made you think you could do that on pot?
When I smoked it, it actually made me more anxious, and I got real scared. But then, like, when I first started it kind of lowered my thoughts down, and I can observe a little bit. And I was like, okay, like, I got kind of, like, curious, That's what made me want to start it. But when I was doing it, I was, like, thinking too much,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, can it help me, like, reduce my thoughts? And then I totally like. I'm starting to find myself now. I'm 25, and I feel like I don't need it anymore. Like, it's not helping me.
Yeah.
And the medication I'm on, I've seen so many doctors since I was 6 years old to now, and it's like they're not. It's like they just throw medication at me, man. And I don't understand their side, like what they're trying to do. I know they're trying to help me, but maybe I don't need medication. Maybe I feel like it's internal and external. Like, I just get confused, dude.
I understand. This is an amazing story. Hold on for me, Jonathan. Let me take a quick break. Do not hang up, all right?
All right.
Do not
All right,
hang
cool.
up. An amazing story, folks. Really is. Back in a moment. I'm a caller. And Jonathan, you're 25 now, right?
Yes, sir.
You grew up on that medication stuff.
Yeah.
And
ADHD started with
and how old were you when they first gave you that? Do you remember?
6 years old.
Wow. And
I
how
was
many?
like,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you were like what?
Oh, I'm always like, I guess I was real hyper, so my mom just took me to the doctor and they gave me meds, and like, I was full of energy and like happy and stuff and just running around. And they thought like, you know, like he's too crazy or something, like a lot of energy. So they just, I feel like all my shit's suppressed, man, like throughout all that, because I was molested too when I was 6 through 9 by 2 different people, and that I'm still battling that, you know. One of them was my cousin.
What did your father say about your mother putting you on medication like that? Did he try to stop her?
No, like he agreed with her, I think. And my parents are divorced. They got divorced when I was 9.
Amazing.
And another thing is, like, I got stuck in the middle, and like my dad would talk shit about my mom. Like, she's sleeping around with all these guys and all the neighbors. She's a whore.
He would
She's
talk
an
that.
alcoholic.
He would tell you about all that.
Yeah, then vice versa. My mom would talk shit about my dad, and they still do it to this day. And living with my mom, it's driving me crazy. And I don't want to run away and go to Arizona. I really want to get my shit right before I go out there with a plan and be myself, you know.
Can we say
forgive my
shit
parents.
one more time?
Oh, yeah, sorry, man. Yeah. I grew up with swearing too, and like I swear, and like I need to work on that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm having a good time though. Like, I'm really glad I'm talking to you.
Amazing. So,
Yeah.
so right now, what type of drugs are you on right now?
Oh, like prescription wise, other than that, like Zoloft. It's called Lamictal, like 200 milligrams.
That's what you're taking
Adderall.
now?
Yeah, Adderall, and then there's another one. I forget what it's called. There's 4 meds I'm on, and then a little bit of weed. Like, I don't smoke every day, just here and there, but I want to get off it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try to wean off the prescriptions too.
I can imagine. What I want you to know first is that there's no such thing as having a clear mind on drugs. When you smoke pot or all the other drugs that you do, people think they're hearing from God and they can see the mind and the mind is clear. That's a setup by Satan. You're not hearing from God on drugs, all right? Just so you know that. But here's what and you said that you wanted to kill yourself? Commit suicide?
Yeah.
What was that like?
3 times. Scary, man. It was scary. It made me go to the hospital. I was driving to work and I pulled off the road, and it just so happened I pulled into a counselor center, and I went in there and I told them I want to hurt myself, and they came with a stretcher, and I let my work know, or I had the counselor people call my work, and I've had a lot of jobs because I was mentally unstable, and I'm using this opportunity with the coronavirus because I'm staying busy. I'm not just sitting around. I'm skateboarding a lot, you know, maintaining my room, cleaning the house up, doing yard work, taking walks, eating right. I like to cook food, so I make bread and pasta and cook dinner for my mom and stuff. and my brother. My brother just plays video games all day. Like, he's 22, and my mom tries to be our friend. It's like there's no structure.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's...
Your brother's
just
living
so
at
much,
home?
man.
Your brother living at
Yeah.
home?
Yeah. He's
Amazing.
never lived on his own, though.
Wow. Do you hear
He has no
voices in your
experience.
head?
I want to say, like, I hear, like, my thoughts and stuff, but
Yeah.
other people's voices, like, from what my parents say and what my dad says and what my mom says, like, this stuff sticks with me, and, like, I get that emotion of feeling like, whether it's being scared or nervous, like anxious, and almost to the point where it's like a panic attack, because I've had one before, because I look at my mom and she drinks every day, and I drink too, and it's like I feel like I'm drinking more, and I'm like, dude, I got to stop. Like, am I an alcoholic? You know, like, because I feel like my mom is. She has like 8 beers and a bottle of wine. That's excessive, dude. And like,
What a mess.
dude, my parents love me though. Like, they come from a good place. Like, deep down, they love me. But it's like,
Well,
their
this is what
egos get in
love
the
is.
way.
I want to see hate.
I hate them. Like, I have to say, like, I hate my parents, and I hate feeling like that. It makes me feel like crap, but that's really how I feel.
Yeah.
And
So-
I tell my parents, like, there's a reason why I'm feeling like this. Like, you have to look at your point of view and, like, what am I doing why is my son like this? Am I doing something, like, what am I doing to make my son feel this way towards me? And I tell that to her, and she doesn't listen. Same with my dad. You know, they
Amazing.
just keep talking and interrupting.
So let me ask, so you say you thought of committing suicide 3 times, or you've tried 3 times?
No, I just had thoughts.
But
I didn't actually try.
Oh, good.
Actually, well, the first time I actually, like, went on the wrong side of the road on head-on traffic, and I pulled out.
Were you trying to
I-
do it then?
Yeah, I think that's, like, the closest I got. I was like, fuck my life, and then, like, turned on the other side of the road, and I'm like, fuck this, man, I'll hit the fucking car. Sorry for my language. And I'll go, like, in the river,
Millennials!
like the lake. That was, like, when I was 22.
So you went on the other side of the road to run into head on another car?
Yeah, and instantly I called my counselor and, like, went to the hospital.
What made you change your mind when you were driving the car and decided not to?
Don't do it. Like, don't do it, man. Like, it's not worth it. I think it was enough to, like, all that anger and frustration and my emotions took over. I think they did. I don't know yet. Like, at the moment, I was so, like, lost in the darkness, you know?
Yeah.
And
Are you doing my silent prayer at all?
I want to look it up now, because this is only the second time I was watching your show, and I'm really curious about it.
Oh, good.
And after this phone call, I'm actually going to check it out.
Good. So let me tell you this, Jonathan. You are blessed. You are amazing. And
Amazing.
Amazing. And none of those things that you have gone through, they are not a big deal at all. All right?
Okay.
None of it is a big deal. So here's what I recommend. You're right at a point of overcoming, because you see that in that state of hatred, you're living in darkness, you're living in hell, and in that hell, Satan is trying to make you take your own life and all that crap, all right? So don't make it a big deal. You can overcome all that. That's not who you are. You're just living as a son of Satan, and that is the lifestyle of Satan. It's not of God, it's not of you, it's the lifestyle of Satan. You understand that?
I understand. You got to transcend, right?
So what now? Yes,
You have
absolutely.
to, like, transcend.
Absolutely. And here's what I want you to do. And you're going to be just fine. If you do it, you'll be fine, all right?
All right.
Number one, realize that your father and mother, you know how you going through all this hell and you can't help yourself? You want to take your
Yeah.
life. You're tempted to take your life. You're tempted to smoke weed. You're tempted to do all this stuff. You're being influenced. It's not you, but something inside it influences you to do all these things. That makes sense?
That makes perfect sense, man.
Well, the same thing is happening with your parents. You became like them. That's what they are going through, and it may be even worse for them. But you have your mother's and your father's identity, and your father has his mother identity. That's why he couldn't handle your mother. But you know that's exactly what they're going through, and they cannot help themselves. If they had love, they would have given you love. They don't have it. They only have hell in their life. They have hatred.
So, do they not see like what they're doing? Like,
Absolutely.
are they taken over like by their mind?
100%.
Okay, and that's where I'm like, dude, I see this, and I try to tell my parents, but
Yeah.
I feel like trying and just saying it, it's not going to work because they're not going to listen.
They're not going to listen. You don't need them to listen. Just realize that's what they're going through, and they don't know how to overcome it. They don't realize it, all right?
All right.
And so, in knowing that about yourself, it will help you to understand them better, and you need to forgive them because they know not what they do. When you go to them, just say, hey, I am sorry for resenting you for what you've done to me. I realize now you can't help yourself. I see it in me. I can't help myself. So I realize you can't help yourself. And don't ask for forgiveness. Forgive them, and God will forgive you. Don't expect them to understand. Don't expect them to apologize. You don't need that from them. You need God to forgive you, and He will once you forgive them. Immediately your life will start to change, because the only way you can see what you see is because God is allowing you to see it, and He's drawing you back unto Him. You're on your way back home, and once you forgive, you will be home, and then you start living. So go to them and forgive them. They can't help themselves, just as you can't help yourself. The fortunate thing for you is that you can see that you can't help yourself. They can't see that.
Okay.
That makes sense?
No, it makes. You're amazing, man. Like, you're amazing.
Oh, amazing.
Like, why can't like doctors like speak your words like that?
They're intellectual nutcakes.
Like, you're real, man. Like, that's awesome.
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna watch your show every morning. Wake up, do my routine, start watching your show, drink my coffee.
Right on. So you understand you got to go and forgive them, right? Don't ask for forgiveness. Don't expect anything from them, meaning don't have no expectation, apology, or anything. You forgive them, and God will forgive you. And
when I
go ahead.
Go ahead. When I forgive, like, will I know? When I forgive, like, I won't have to keep like feeling like, how do I forgive? How do I forgive? Or like,
right.
I'll just know.
You will know.
I'll just know.
You will know.
Okay.
But I do want to warn you that the voice in your head, which is of Satan, because you've been listening to it for so long, thinking that it was your own voice or somebody else's voice and all that, but it's really the voice of your soon to be ex-daddy, Satan, right? I want you to start doubting every thought, meaning just let them pass. Don't just know it's not from you. They're not from God. They are straight out of darkness. They're straight out of darkness. They're hell, all right? So just watch them, but let them pass. Don't believe anything they say about anything. And you will.
And I like. Go ahead.
And you will start living from the truth. You will start living from the light of God that's inside of you. You will have faith in God.
That's true. And what I liked, I think before I called in, you said that, like, every thought's a lie.
Yes.
And not to believe every thought, like, because they're just thoughts and you aren't your thoughts.
That's right. Yep.
And that makes sense to me.
Right on.
And I read, like, The Power Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I watch Jordan Peterson too as well.
Yes.
I like those two guys, and then I watch you.
Right on. So listen, doubt every thought, all right? Every thought is a lie. Okay. And then I want you to do the silent prayer. Start doing it as soon as we hang up. Whenever you run. But before you go to bed or sometime today, do a silent prayer and do it in the morning. and just relax. Speak up, but don't resent, and your life will unfold for you. You will find that you don't need drugs, you don't need anything, and your mind will become stable. You will have a clear
Hmm.
mind. All that conflict you have will leave. You will have perfect peace. It because you're right there, Jonathan. You just need to forgive them. Don't ask for forgiveness. Don't expect them to change. Don't expect anything from them because the only reason you're hurting on the inside, the only reason Satan is controlling you by those thoughts is because you have not completely connected to back to your father yet, to God, because of the
Hmm.
resentment. But forgive your parents; they cannot help it, and you will be forgiven.
Man, that makes you feel good.
Yeah, and do the silent prayer, and don't try to force your parents to change. And if you have to live there for right now, be grateful.
Hmm.
Have a good attitude about that. All right, accept what
Yeah, 'cause
is. Just be happy.
that's a positive thing too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just be grateful. Hey, I'm living here now. I know I want to move away eventually, but this is all I have right now. And have a good attitude about it, as though you had your own place. And then when this whole virus thing, when they get stop this whole virus thing, I encourage you to don't move back to Ohio right away, but to get a job there in Ohio. Don't move back to Arizona right away, unless you
Hmm.
just want to. But I would recommend you get a job, get yourself a little apartment there in Ohio, save 10% of your money, and then when it's time to move, it will happen naturally. It wouldn't be a big deal at all.
It wouldn't be like forced or anything, or like
Not at all.
emotional.
That's right. It wouldn't be emotional. You don't need to tell your parents anything. You should just move. It'll happen naturally. You won't need their permission or their okay on it or anything. Your father, which is inside of you, will guide you. It will happen naturally.
Okay.
All right. So don't be in a rush back to Arizona at this time. You got to live in peace where you are with good attitude, and
Good attitude.
everything will start to unfold for you.
Sweet.
But
That's
make sure
sweet.
you do the silent prayer and stay with it. You won't need after a while. You won't need the silent prayer video because you'll learn how to do it and you'll sit quietly and you will see God will separate you from the darkness of your imagination and the drugs and everything will fall away because Satan is setting you up to make you think you're on drug. When you're on drug, you're with God. That's not true. You're with Satan and he makes you believe things about the truth and he will have you thinking that you see things that you really don't see. All right. So,
That freaking bastard, man.
but eventually the drugs will fall away because God is with you. You're home. Once you forgive, you will be home, meaning that you'll be back with the Father within, and everything will unfold. So you're blessed that you have not committed suicide, but that you are seeking the truth. And now you're home, man. But you just forgive your mother. Forgive your
Mhm.
father. Just say, hey, I forgive you guys. I know now you can't help yourself. And if they admit it, fine. If they don't, it's up to them. And your life will start to unfold for you. It's going to be amazing, Jonathan.
God damn, that's great. Like, real quick, like, all right, so I'm outside
Yes.
and the neighbor's cutting his grass and he's wearing a mask.
Oh, God. That's funny. So listen, I want
Yeah.
you to, from this point forward, wish everybody well, even your enemy. When people try to hurt you, all right, that's wrong, but I wish you well. Don't hate anyone. Don't judge anyone. Don't gossip. Don't do any of that stuff. Just always wish everybody well, and that's what it means to love others, right? Yeah, even your enemy, when they try to
Like
hurt you, just
compassion and love.
yes, just wish them well.
Okay.
So, Jonathan,
And
do
that'll
this.
come naturally too, right?
It will come down once you're born again of your father. You're on the way. All that will
Mhm.
happen naturally. It will unfold. You'll come back, and eventually, you will be yourself. You won't be your mama. You won't be your daddy. You won't be your friend. The way your friends are, you will be you. And there's nothing like being you. You will naturally grow back into that. All right.
All right, great. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, thank you.
You're welcome. But do the silent
Thank you.
prayer. Go and forgive your parents and let your life unfold. Don't worry about Arizona right now. You want to live as soon as this virus is over, get you a job, you get you a little apartment there, work your job, save 10% of your money, and one thing will lead to another, buddy. You're doing fine. And all that stuff you've gone through, it would be as though it never happened. Because that's not
like it'll
who
just fade.
Yeah, that's not who you are. Who you are is a son of God, but because you fell into that fallen state by resenting, you became a son of Satan. Now
So you're saying like you aren't the ego. You're bigger than that. Like
absolutely
you're God, but you're not the mind, like all that mind stuff, you know.
Yeah, you're not any of those things. You're not a drug addict. You're not an alcoholic. You're not whatever happened. You are a son of God who's been traumatized, and now the son is returning to the father, and he's going to have an amazing life, and he'll be himself, but his life will be amazing. All right?
All right. Awesome. Awesome.
Jonathan, check back in. Let me know how it goes, all right?
Yeah, I'll call back in sometime.
Was this helpful for
sure.
you?
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great.
As an adult man, you don't need your parents' permission to do anything. You don't have to tell them, I'm going back to Arizona. And when they disagree with it, you have to fight with them. When you're ready to go back to Arizona, and if you're ready, you'll just naturally move. You don't need their permission.
No, I don't.
Yeah. You're a grown man.
I'm not a kid anymore, Mom. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a man.
So just one step at a time, all right?
All right, I got it.
And then eventually, if it's for you to be off the other HTD medication and all that, you will see, and you will be able to see the right thing to do about that.
Okay.
All right? God bless you, man.
God bless you, too.
Amazing,
Great show.
Amazing call, Jonathan.
Oh, thanks.
God bless you. God bless you, man.
God bless.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Amazing. It's no big deal, folks. It's just in your mind you think it's a big deal because you've been deceived by Satan in your mind and the world around you. They're telling you all this stuff and all that. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.